Tanks here with a look at another roguelike deck building card game RPG thingy called Monster Slayers. Basically, it's in a very similar vein to Slay the Spire, another game I did a review of on this channel. It differs in a few key ways, namely in the way that it kind of sucks, honestly. But we'll go over the issues after a little rundown on the mechanics. Like I said, it's a deck building roguelike similar to Slay the Spire. So you have different classes you pick at the beginning of your run. They each have their own starting deck and also different cards that are available to them that you can add to your deck throughout the run. There's also gear that you can equip that gives stat bonuses to health and damage, and the gear itself can also add cards to your deck. Additionally, there's a progression system that utilizes points you gain from each run that you can use to upgrade your character in future runs, and the gear that you pick up in one run can be used in subsequent runs in the future. In theory, these systems would be a nice addition to the deck building roguelike formula and would help differentiate itself from other similar games while emphasizing its place as a more traditional RPG with gear and upgrade paths. However, in practice, these systems feel like they simply add confusion while not providing much in the way of meaningful choice. One of the ways this game feels confusing and frustrating is the frankly terrible UI. The upgrade tree itself is god awful, but pretty much every aspect of the UI feels poorly planned and executed. In fact, the game in general seems to lack any polish or even balancing. It's ugly and awkward to play, and there are times when you simply get destroyed by the enemies that honestly feel stronger than even an upgraded character and just completely random. Why there are low-level enemies with higher hand size and more upgraded cards and better decks than the player, I'll never understand. Starting with only 3 cards every turn in the first few levels feels extremely limiting in your per-turn decision-making, and the use of multiple different forms of resources is a further complexity layer that never feels like it pays off. There's mana and action points, and there are cards that can use or provide either of these or none of these. It comes off as haphazard and poorly thought out. In addition to enemies sometimes just eviscerating you, your ability to modify your deck each run is also stunted. In Slay the Spire, each combat you successfully complete presents you with an opportunity to add cards to your deck, so you can reliably modify your deck on a consistent basis and constantly evolve your overall game plan. In Monster Slayers, on the other hand, there are much fewer opportunities to add cards to your deck, and the offerings are slimmer, which results in frustrating runs that all tend to feel really similar to each other. The decks in your character don't really seem to be modifiable in a meaningful enough way throughout the run for the runs themselves to feel distinct. Unlike in Slay the Spire, where you can play as the same class 2 runs in a row, but have completely different decks and playstyles. Monster Slayers feels like an incomplete game that is badly in need of polish and balance passes, as well as iteration on general card and class design principles. There are a ton of classes to choose from, but they don't really feel different from each other, and all the ones I played just felt weaker than even some of the starting enemies. All in all, I can't say I'd recommend this game at all. Slay the Spire is a vastly superior game in pretty much every way conceivable, and Monster Slayers doesn't offer anything meaningfully different or better in any way that I could perceive. Yeah, I really would suggest you guys skip this one, but that's all about I have for now, so thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.